Welcome back to the Brew Crew Podcast, everyone. This is episode 265.
265.
265. That's a good number. I don't have any reason for it. Just feels like a good number.
It feels splendiferous.
265. Anything happened in February of 1965? I don't know, but
we'll find out.
We'll find out. Someone will comment and let us know.
We are gonna go with the crack.
Let's do it
immediately. This is a special one.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. I almost didn't. I almost just cracked it. This is typically we do a starter beer, so we're gonna do a starter beer today.
Sounds good.
I've been sitting on this one, so we'll get into
Am
why
I allowed
the beers...
to look, or should I keep drinking blindly?
No, keep drinking blindly.
Oh, okay.
I know we've got important things to do, so don't worry. It's not like a 17% or anything like
Okay.
that. So I just decided in the last minute and a half before JT pulled up, I was like, I had the Miller Lights out. I had them in the coos. I was good to go. And then I was like, you know what? I've been sitting on this one special beer for a while. So that's what I was going to do for our kickoff. So we're going to end up doing 3 beers today, but we're splitting the second 2. So it's not a quantity challenge. And hopefully it's a good... This is an Untitled art beer.
Yeah,
This
I can see the Untitled. That's all I can see. I don't know what this is.
It's a fruited sour. You probably
I can
got
taste that. It's a fruited sour. Smoothie-esque.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some...
Anything else that you got?
Oh, pineapple for sure. It feels like maybe some banana or something.
I think it's Dragonfruit.
Dragonfruit?
Yeah, so I got this from Barrel House. But anyways.
It has a very 450 like taste to it with more liquidity.
Yeah, so the
financially.
The best part is we pride ourselves on not pre-producing.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, JT sat down. I was like, don't look at anything. Yeah. And within 45 seconds, we were recording.
Yeah.
So we haven't even caught up. I asked him if he was doing well.
It was a late day.
It was a late day.
So we had to start late. Which
So,
I appreciate. It's Catorade's birthday, by the way.
It is.
Happy birthday to my wife.
Wish her a happy birthday. Is she still a frequent listener?
No.
No, neither is my wife.
Yeah. I wish she was, but she's not.
My in-laws were down this last week, and they were like, we didn't get prompted on your last episode. So I don't know why the algorithm betrays them, because I talked to...
There is a checkbox. You check that one? To notify subscribers? I'll check it.
I'll have to check.
I'll check it.
I saw you updated the thumbnail.
I did update the thumbnail. I thought, you know what, we need a thumbnail. And I put the beers on it. Just use PowerPoint for that.
Do you have any more other thoughts on this beer? So it's Untitled art. I think it's Dragonfruit. I think it's a Dragonfruit.
I thought you were going to talk more about the thumbnail. Like, you have an opinion?
No, I liked it. It was a good thumbnail. It was just an amalgamation plus the 264.
Which is quite the segue back into the...
Oh beer. Yeah, no, this is abrupt. Because I didn't prepare this beer like, you know, the other 2 beers that we'll get into. I prepared. Like, I have thoughts and stuff. Intrigue.
I like it. It's very tropical. It tastes very tropical. It's got like almost like a fruit punch flavor to it.
I concur.
And it's light though. It's very light. It
is very light.
Yeah,
very light.
Those are my 2 thoughts. Very light.
You can unsheath it because
is this seltzer?
No.
Oh no, it is a fruited sour.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. It's 90 calories. That's crazy.
But the big one.
Non-alcoholic.
Non-alcoholic, right?
Took a second to get there.
So
wow, look at that. I didn't even look at the top.
So even though we're in February and it's dry January or dryish January or however you observe it, I think it's awesome. We didn't talk about it, whatever. But as goes into our 3rd beer for today, I'm behind the power curve on a couple of these because the 3rd beer is going to be a Christmas beer.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
But one that I've wanted to do. So this one I've been sitting on. I bought this from the fine people down at Barrel House.
Yeah.
And I was excited. And as you can see, it's a Wanakee, so it's out of Wisconsin. And I was excited for a non-alcoholic craft beer.
Yeah, this is really good. This is really good non-alcoholic sour is probably much easier to execute than...
Do you think... It's got to be, right?
Than a hoppy beer, yeah.
But... But
it's really well done.
You nailed it when you're like, this is a light beer.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice it was only 90 calories.
Yeah, only 90 calories, which is good. Because if you're going to drink a non-alcoholic sour, there's got to be some incentive to not just have a juice box.
Yeah. 16 grams of carbs, which you would expect for a sour to be a little bit higher. Because like a Miller Lite is famously 3.2 grams of carbs. So this is, 500% more. 12 grams of sugar. So it's not, by any means, it's not going to be a keto-friendly beer.
No.
I think to stay in ketosis, typical person has to stay like under 30 or under 20 or whatever. So maybe one of these.
28 net.
28 net. That's what it is, depending on.
I don't know. I don't subscribe to the net carb thing.
Okay.
If you're on keto and you do like the net carbs,
Yeah.
I think you're not doing keto basically.
Is that like where fiber?
But I think they say like
cancels
50 net
it
carbs
out?
or whatever is like 50 straight up carbs is pretty much you're going to be great.
Yeah.
But if you do the net thing, yeah, I think it's lower, like 20.
It's asking me to restart, so I'm not going to restart.
No,
because that would be
that
bad.
would
pod.
be horrible.
So, anyways, I think it's a winner.
Yeah, I think it's a winner.
For a six pack, $15. So it's a little bit. I mean, it's right up there. Untitled art, you're usually used to like their pint cans or whatever. So maybe that's another way to discern. But they've nailed the fruited sour aspect of it. The Dragonfruit, whatever. Like again, heavy pineapple.
Yeah, it's very good.
Citrus notes, fresh. Here's my question with a non-alcoholic beer and like hot water, like Steph gave me last week. Can we drink this at work?
Right.
Yes, you think so? Because it says below 0.5.
I don't think that they would allow it.
Okay, so
but
you're
I don't
saying
see why. I don't think they put any thought behind it. You know, I think they just be like, no, non-alcoholic beer, you can't have that.
Okay, so it's more of the.
It's the beer.
It's more. It's beer, even though it's non-alcoholic. You can't.
But I bet if you brought it in, no one would argue with you.
Maybe just don't advertise it, but.
Yeah. I mean, it's just juice, basically. It's probably healthier than half the shit people drink in there anyway. You know, the people who just plow through Yoo-Hoos all day.
I think the Yoo-Hoo consumption is down, but there's definitely people. Pop-Tart consumption is up though.
Oh, is it?
Everyone just
why is Pop-Tart so popular all of a sudden?
It used to be the most calories you could get for 50 cents in the building.
The most calories you could get.
Yeah, so it was like 400 calories for 50 cents.
Oh.
Like otherwise crackers are like 200 or whatever.
Yeah.
So calorically, and he listened last week because if you notice, he commented, Chuggalo Pete commented on the peanut butter.
That, yeah.
So that's a Chuggalo Pete stat. He came up with that.
That's
he
a
calculated
stat.
in the building the most calories.
I was always looking for like what I want is the most filling. I don't know that calories are always filling.
The library has a mini sleeve of saltines for 50 cents.
That would be filling.
Just
That'd
like
be good.
just
I'll
plain
take it.
saltines, right?
I'll take it.
I've munched on them before.
I like that. Sometimes you're just like overwhelmingly hungry. You can't wait until dinner. And you just need a snack to get you over.
Yeah. My go-to typically is sunflower seeds.
But sunflower seeds are great. I just don't want to go, Pop-Tarts, that's too much sugar.
I love Pop-Tarts.
I love them.
I have two, the Sam's Club or the Chub
I'm
Pack.
surprised.
Right now.
You just have them special occasions or you eat them whenever?
Whenever. Like, when was the last one? Thursday night, I was like, it's 9:30 or whatever. It's like, I want a snack.
Yeah.
Boom.
I love Pop-Tarts.
Brown sugar and cinnamon Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, those are really good ones.
My daughters hate them, though, so I have to buy them.
You can eat them cold,
ones.
and I actually think they're better cold.
I would rather not waste electricity to warm up that guilt-ridden trip.
Yeah, Pop-Tarts. Yeah. It's snack bars at work, it's an interesting thing. Because they are so unhealthy.
Then
Can't
I had
exactly sell fruit.
Yeah, then I had a massive stout with it, too.
Oh, okay.
I think you brought up, I think one I have on tap is... I'll just put it out there in case people find it. I do have the German chocolate cake mayonnaise stout beer.
Mayonnaise stout beer.
Yeah, Duke's mayonnaise. I guess it's big.
Okay.
So Angry Chair, but I'm sitting on that one.
Okay.
But we have that on deck. Not today.
Not today.
But I think Stev told me about it or whatever. So we're gonna be drinking
that
one.
I sent you a picture of the Hellman's beer. That was apparently a joke. I'm pretty sure.
No, this is real Duke's mayo, and I've heard putting mayo in chocolate cake keeps it more moist. It's
I could see that. It's just eggs basically.
As are
eggs and
cake and pastry aficionado. You're for that?
Yeah. What is mayonnaise? Is
Ooh, that's a good one. Sorry,
I think
Stacey.
it's like eggs and lard or something, maybe. I can't remember what the other ingredient. It's fat of some sort.
Yeah. Fuck.
Maybe it's oil.
Yeah, it's just oil.
Maybe it's oil and eggs.
Because the difference between mayo and Hellman's Or Miracle Whip.
Miracle Whip, yeah.
Yeah, one of them's oil and one of them's other byproduct or something like that.
Yeah, who knows?
Because there's a difference and there's a huge rift.
There was a period of time where I was into Miracle Whip. No longer.
Yeah. My problem
on
now
sandwiches,
is
I'm not a big man.
I like that. I like everything that comes out of a squeeze bottle. Makes it easier. So I don't have to grab a knife or a spoon.
Oh, yeah. The mayonnaise ones are just so difficult, though.
But we could save this for when we actually have that beer. So that's going to be one. And everyone complains. Not everyone, but people are like, it's hard to watch you because we want to have what you're having. Good. We're going to have, it's Angry Chair, Duke's Mayo, German Chocolate Cake Stout. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Grab it.
We're going to have it, and then you can know our thoughts too. And it's out there. I've seen it in 3 different locations already. And it's Angry Chairs all over the place. I know it's back in Wisconsin too. Because
we should start the Brew Crew, mail order.
It would so much money. All right. Beer number 1. This comes from Chuggalos Step, so we're changing it up a little bit. There's a funny story. So the funny story is it was supposed to be JT's week. JT left his beer at home because he was off gallivanting the globe, saving people, and he didn't have time to go back home. So I was like, we wanted to do Stev's beer. Stev gifted us a month and a half ago.
Yeah,
he gave it us Dos beers, which is 2 beers. We're multilingual now. We're big. So I decided to go with the sour. That's why it was a sour. It was a little bit of a Hail Mary because he gave us a sour and an IPA, but the third beer for today is an IPA. So it would have been an IPA sandwich or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, so this is from Southern Grist. This is Liquid Karma. JT, it's a sour. How much alcohol do you think is in this one?
6%.
10.1.
Whoa.
So that's why we're sharing it.
Yeah.
So non-alcohol for the first one. We're watching it. New Year's resolution. Be
sorry,
more
I
responsible.
forgot the beer.
No.
Bad on me.
It's a good story.
It's a terrible story. It's the story of a man who forgot beer. That's never a good story.
But this way we're being more responsible.
Yeah, that's true.
More responsible.
That's true.
That smells very soury.
Yeah, it does. That smells like the type of sour we like. Not expecting the 10%.
No. So Southern Grist Liquid Karma 10.1. You can find out more at southerngristbrewing.com. They're out of Tennessee. And I've taken a lot of strong stance that there's not a lot of good beer that comes out of Kentucky or Tennessee because they're much more worried about like bourbon and whiskeys. Again, Nashville, they started in 2016. The size of their first storefront. Oh, that now I'm excited.
It's both good and bad.
How big?
No, it's mostly good. I think you might take back some of that Tennessee stuff. Just hit you after that non-alcoholic.
Yeah, it does. Like you go from 0% to 10. Their first store size or their first brewery, 430 square feet was their first storefront, and they spent 2 years in that refining their craft. And then they jumped up in February of 2018 when it was just the 3 brewers and their wives were the only employees to 9,900 square feet. So a multitude much bigger, and they're more in depth now. Obviously, they have over 50 employees, and to date, they have done 1,100 different beers.
Wow, that's a lot of different beers. We've had Southern Grist in Ohio pretty much probably since its inception. I've seen it. I feel like I see it a lot. So
I do
it's
see
accessible.
A lot. This is Liquid Karma is an interesting name for this one.
Liquid Karma. Yeah, it is an interesting name. It's got a moose on the front. We could do some can art.
By Steph.
Thanks, Steph. There it is. I'll put this in on there it is. Can art boner segment brought to you by Stev. It's a moose. And it says Liquid Karma.
Nailed it.
Look at that. And it's a pink label. Nice. Stands out. That's the Can Art Boner segment. Really, I don't know. What Liquid Karma, what do you think that means? That means that you get what you deserve.
I remember...
In liquid.
I remember I just rewatched the Harry Potters like in the last month, and they have Liquid Luck. Philos, friend, whatever.
That's in
that
Harry
name
Potter?
or whatever. Yeah.
I never knew that. I'm not a huge... I never watched Harry Potter.
So
I watched
good.
the first one and that was it.
They're so good.
They are?
Mm-hmm.
They good?
It's like this drink. This could be the best Tennessee beer I've ever had.
I'm not big into like wizardry and things like that.
That's where I round out.
As far as like my interests in magic, in fiction, I don't really care about wizards. They don't impress me with their wizardry.
They don't impress me much.
Now Shania Twain, I could get into that.
Yeah. I'm gonna get DC. We're gonna get DC made.
For sure. No, I don't think you were on tune, so I don't think they'll DC
what?
my ass.
You close your eyes.
Like her.
Close your eyes. I'd say it sounded pretty much.
This beer is really good. This tastes like straight up candy.
Candy's 100. This is candy.
They hid the alcohol. Other than the feel of the alcohol, it's almost like the first breath. My first taste when I just breathed out, it was like I was fire breathing alcohol. But I think that was more shock than anything else. This has the flavor of those little strawberry candies that on Halloween that are wrapped in a strawberry wrapper
with like the green
with
top.
The green top. And
is that what
they're just like super flavorful. You literally never see those candies sold anywhere. I don't know who has all these strawberry candies.
They are good
away
though.
At Halloween. Yeah, it's just like someone just put too much flavor in them.
I get apple.
They're so good. Yeah, I get a little apple out of there. But like it's almost like just generic like hard candy because like if you like no one eats Nerds one by one. Maybe you do. But
if you eat or somebody that Nerds one by one, they're a serial killer.
Like, do each color of nerd have a flavor? Do you think?
No.
But if they did, you'd put them in your mouth. It's almost like the fruit punch of candy. They're all mixed together.
Identify that person because they've killed and they're gonna kill again.
Yeah, Nerds and Smarties and anything like tiny.
I'll eat Smarties one by one.
One by one?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. You just open up one end and you use your teeth to just like pull them all out.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Like you treat your mouth with the Diet Coke bottle and those are Mentos.
Yeah.
And you're just going to explode.
They're amazing. You only need one at that point.
I feel like there's more of a rift. People eat Smarties, calculated Smarties. Nerds, people are doing a handful.
Nerds, no doubt about it. You can't eat Nerds.
You're not a serial killer. You're a serial killer. But Smarties, I will defend as a Smartie connoisseur when I do eat them, I guess. Sorry, Stacey, I don't have Smarties all the time. But when I do, one by one.
Mm-hmm. I don't have Smarties almost ever. When my kids go trick-or-treating, I think.
I have my daughter's trained now. They give me all their Butterfingers when they're going through their bags.
Oh, that's good.
Right? That's a score.
My kids don't give me shit.
It's my favorite Chicago sign, Butterfinger. Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah? Oh, nice. Yeah, Butterfinger, that's by the Union sign, I think.
Yeah.
It's near there. For the electricians. This beer is very good. It tastes just like candy. It's got a great sour undertone. Sour beer.
Yep.
It's boozy, but not in a way that's offensive. Like in, really boozy stouts or porters where it kind of sticks out. This one doesn't at all. Wow, really good beer. Man, this is gonna be. It's hard to say this because of how well they executed it.
Were you gonna try to say it in French? Is that why it's hard?
Yeah, because I don't speak French.
Sacre bleu.
So I'm gonna say it in French, but it'll just be gibberish. Yeah. I'm giving this beer a 4.75 because I actually think this would taste like it would go over the top with less alcohol. Like this would be phenomenal, just like unbeatable.
But I thought you could
at
taste
maybe
the
like
alcohol.
a 5 or a 6. I think it's there and it affects its. You can't taste the alcohol as alcohol, but I think it has an effect on the flavor. And I think if you lowered it, which compliments to the brewers on making this beer at a 10%, that is a feat because of how good it is. Separately,
as a sour.
Yes, as a sour. Separately, I think if this beer was a 6 or a 5, this beer would be at the top of our list. Just because of how much flavor would come through additionally from the right notes. That's my score.
Interesting. Okay. So off the top rope, I'm at a 4.25. I think this beer is to candy cigarettes. This is a gateway beer for children. I would keep this away from your kids because your kids are going to think every beer tastes like this. Mm-hmm. And that's not the case. So again, candy cigarettes, candy, the gateway apparatus for getting smokers. This would be the apparatus for getting youthful drinkers. I think
I could see that.
I could see just like pop cap guns.
Yeah.
And people eat nerds.
People
one
who
by
shoot
one.
pop cap guns typically turn to real guns.
Do you?
It is a gateway gun.
It is a gateway gun. Do you? Again, that nerds thing. I think I want to meet somebody that that would be the defining feature of that person.
Oh, it has to be.
If they ate
or
nerds
at least
one
it
by one.
was the indicator of their defining features.
Yeah.
Like if you eat nerds one by one, you're an interesting person.
What is the person who eats? What's their name? Let's name them.
Let's name them.
I've got a name, but I want you to.
I would say their name's probably. It's. Let me think for a second. It's got to be like.
I'm gonna go with Alfred.
Alfred? I don't know. Alfred? Maybe Alfred.
Is
maybe.
that too old?
I'm thinking something like Colin.
Oh, I know some Collins.
I was gonna say Craig, but not in a Craig way that we know.
Yeah, no, not Craig.
A different, like a nerdy Craig. Like
Like a pocket protector?
Yeah. Like a nerd, only a nerd would eat nerds one by one.
I used to see pocket protectors all the time in the building. Now I don't. I haven't seen one in a long time. I don't even see ties hardly anymore besides there's me and like 4 other people.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts about like workwear, work dress wear.
It's gone. COVID killed the workplace.
Well, COVID did a lot to it, but I also think that skilled technical labor it killed looking nice at work. Because you don't have to like the impression that people get of you today in today's work environment is of your work.
Yeah.
Whereas in yesteryear, a lot of people all did the same thing, and a lot of it was like, project management or whatever. It's hard to set yourself apart when that's what you're doing, and so a suit's necessary because you don't want to be remembered for looking like a scumbag, so you blend in by looking nice. Whereas now, you just do good work. You'll stand out. That's what I think.
Interesting.
You don't need suits or ties to look good anymore. You just need good work. I would not wear a suit.
I'll call him out because it's someone we both. Doc Potts. Doc Potts wears shorts, and no one ever calls him
shorts
out.
At work.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
He's accepted awards from generals.
Wow.
In shorts.
Well,
like in the IPC.
Yeah, I mean his reputation.
Oh yeah, again,
such that he could.
When you're a physicist of his.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I could say that. That's right. And the fact that he's 10 years younger than me. So, what have I done with my life? All right. Beer number Thrice.
Ooh.
Or Trace. This is Mikkeller's Hoppy Lovin Christmas. So this is a Christmas beer. It's an IPA brewed with ginger and pine needles. This one's 7.8%.
You a big Thrice fan?
Thrice. The band?
Yeah.
Big no. Familiar with their catalog? Yes.
They toured with Deftones for a while.
And they make good stuff.
They were at one time they were my favorite band for a good 2 years.
I saw their I see why they toured with them. Like sound, but not.
Yeah, they have a lot more speed in their music than. Now they're not a very fast-paced band, but they have more speed than the Deftones. The Deftones are much.
Age catches
slower.
everyone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think they still play some pretty hard stuff, but the Deftones just is a lot more, I guess, melodic.
Oh yeah, groove. Some people say groove metal.
Sure, yeah.
Or
have you gotten into Sleep Token? I feel like that is like a modern day Deftones. They're very talented.
Team Sleep. Chino's got a bunch of projects too. So Mikkeller out of Denmark. You can find out more at mikkeller.dk.
DK.
That heads up, it's not in English, so you might not be able to find out more. Don't
go to DK. Go to .com.
This is a 2017. So this is. I didn't realize it was a Christmas beer until I pulled it out today when I was prepping beer.
Mikkeller. We all know who does the Mikkeller art. It's It is. Don't tell me. I'll remember.
We all know.
We all know.
And that's the bottom line.
It's gosh, why am I blanking on his name right now? But I have a bunch of baseball cards from him.
Oh, we've talked about
We've
this
talked
before.
about it before.
Oh,
Gosh, what is his name?
so with IPAs typically not at as a high gravity 7.8, I'm not expecting this to be an absolute world destroyer or world beater by any means, and I don't think on first impression it is. But again, when you buy beer in bulk, sometimes you have some winners and some losers.
I definitely was like, I know you probably said it, but I was processing the flavor of the beer on my first sip, and I didn't hear you say IPA if you said it.
Yeah,
I was like, there's a parallel here to a popular IPA.
The thing with this beer is I hate trying to like decipher when they came from. So knowing a lot of the beer that I bought, and they don't even make it in the bomber anymore. It's currently in their portfolio, and they make it in 12 packs like the Euro style 12 packs or whatever. But this was a one of 2 years, so it was 2017, 2018. And again, a lot of the beer that I bought from the individual, he didn't have a lot of 2018, a lot of 2017 ones. So whatever liquor store he knocked over, again, just with the absolute, I'm going to guess 2017 because there's nothing on the shoulder of it. There's nothing underneath. There's nothing on the label. I just went by pictures.
What about the punt? Did you look at the punt?
I try not to on the first date. I try to be respectful and acknowledge the nice punt. Mm-hmm. But, that's it. Not on the first date.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Keith Shaw is the name of the artist. There's no date, I'm sure. So this beer, and you're probably going... Maybe I should talk about this after. In order, we should do can art and stuff. But the aged IPA...
This is great content for me.
This is great. I think that on first sip, I definitely tasted a little lighter, brighter version of the 120 minute.
Lots of sediment on bottom.
It has I think that it has that like dull, aged hoppiness to it. And the first time I had a 120 minute was with you, and I remember thinking like the bitterness here doesn't match the expectations of what the name of the beer is, and with this I think it kind of helps confirm that these aged IPAs, they're different.
Yeah, and the alcohol kind of reinforces some of that, because the alcohol on that is 2 to 3 times more. This is 7.8. This is not going to bottle condition. This is what they put in. Is what? 7.8. Yeah, this is not going to be any higher. This is not designed to bottle condition.
Oh, it's not designed to do that.
No. Again, this is optimally, I guess, this is going to be like a 1 to 3 year shelf life. So the fact that we're drinking it 7 years later.
So again, what if you listen to the Advent calendar? Chuggalos Phil has kind of shed some insights onto this process. So what that means is, so like a 120 minute will be bottled with extra sugar, or at least unfermented sugar.
Unfermented, yes.
From the original process. No, they don't just dump sugar in it, but yeah. So they put the sugar in, and then they remove it from the, the brewing process before all the sugar has been fermented, and then in the bottle it would ferment more. That's why the aging process happens. So what you're implying here is
that wasn't
they did not have extra sweetness in there that was unfermented. There was what was in there, and that was it. And then now it's 7.8.
Especially for a single IPA.
Yeah. So interesting things there. Also, for those who don't know, Dirty Jobs is on Hulu now, and it is still as amazing as it was when it first came out. And he does go to a brewery.
What brewery?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Son of a
One
bitch.
that didn't really register in my lexicon.
Not Southern Grist or not Mikkeller.
Southern Grist, not Mikkeller, and not Untitled Art, Urban Artifact.
Urban Artifact is
Untitled Art.
Available in my hometown now.
Oh, good.
Right?
Yeah, like
So
all
like
the
a juxtaposition.
classics. I'm guessing like.
No, they had astronaut food.
Oh shit.
Yeah, blueberry astronaut food, which
Wow,
was one of the.
That's a new one.
We had
Or
we had
craft.
we had astronaut food in the beer exchange. Somebody brought astronaut food.
Oh, so maybe it's older. I thought it was like a one-off. It's not though.
No, this one they specifically said blueberry astronaut food. I remember astronaut food. I don't remember it being blueberry though.
Interesting.
But it's also this bar, the shtick. It's called Third and Vine. It's like a charcuterie. They have a great
Makes sense.
beer selection. So they have like 6 taps, but they have an amazing beer cooler and then deli.
Oh, I gotta give that
deli
reminds me.
right
I
there.
gotta give a out shout real quick.
Yeah.
To a small business that I believe could benefit from our business, who I gave business to yesterday, and
Gave them the business. Like
Yeah.
1-2.
I did. I went and punched the lady right in the face.
A lady.
Yeah. Well, So we went to this place called Pinspiration in Centerville. Have you heard of it?
No.
This place was really, really awesome. I wasn't sure what to expect. So for Caterade's birthday, I bought her
Which is today, by the way.
which is
Again.
today, but we went out yesterday to a splatter room. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you go and you throw paint around like crazy, and there's canvases on the wall, but you really are painting the whole room, and you just remove your canvases, and that's all you get to take home. And so we went to Pinspiration, and I saw on the website that they had some extra stuff. But they have charcuterie boards. You can get. They
Wow.
have beer. They have Shirley Temples for the kids. They have
Also kitty
a
cocktails.
bunch of kitty cocktails for those who I don't know where you'd be from that you
The
wouldn't know
Midwest.
that. They call them Shirley Temples there.
Kitty cocktails.
We called them kitty cocktails growing up, but my kids don't know what Shirley Temples are.
That's what the bottle of grenadine is for, right there. Bottom middle.
That's if you have a bottle of grenadine, you got to be making kitty cocktails or Shirley Temples. So anyway, we went in and it feels like they're getting good business, but the sense that I got from the owner was that they need to grow. So go to Pinspiration because it was fun. It was a lot of fun. They have candle making. They have splatter rooms.
Pinspiration.
They have. You can go and just reserve a table for just generic projects if you want to just paint and stuff, and they can teach you how to make certain things.
Would it be good for the kids?
They have like, oh yeah, my kids loved it, and there was a bunch of little kids there. Splatter room obviously would be good for little kids, but they also have like, I guess they had a class on Sunday morning where they made fairy worlds. Like they were dioramas basically that they made, and it looked amazing. The lady showed it to us, and it was like for little girls. It was awesome.
So, it sounds like
just out shout to a local business. So
yeah, no, it sounds like for your wife's birthday, you thought outside of the box
I did. We had to do something rather than just give
by
someone.
putting your wife inside a box.
Yes, and then throwing paint at her.
How would you say you eat your nerds?
Yeah, I eat my nerds handfuls
One
at a
by
time.
one by one.
One box at a time, fully.
He's a killer.
Is that? I wonder if that's indicative. Jeffrey would maybe be Jeffrey Dahmer would be a good one nerd at a time.
G off, yeah.
Geoff. Oh yeah. Was he spelled Geoff?
I
think Geoff.
Are you saying
So I don't know how Jeffrey Dahmer spelled his first name, but if it was Geoff, it makes sense now.
No, he was.
He was J.
I think he was.
He was like he was Joffrey.
No. G off. The G off that we're thinking of is.
There's another G
a
off.
sweet dude.
I'm sure he's great. Yeah.
You worked with
fun.
him.
I did work with him.
Yeah.
Our interactions.
The other.
My impression of him was that he was hard motard, but that's okay. He was still a nice guy.
Oh yeah, he's like
just super loves the army and or whatever service he was in, and just won't stop talking about it. And me, I don't want to talk about it. Army.
The best part was he would take all the cans from, and that's how he would take all the cans from the rooms that we worked in
and recycle them. So that makes sense because his name is Geoff. So that's good. So it all lines up.
Because him and his wife, they live like 45 minutes to an hour away, and they drive separately.
What?
Yeah. Right.
I think
they're way
worked
up
with
north.
his wife more than I worked with him.
They're way up north.
She worked in the same room as I.
They're way up north. They're Canada essentially.
Like Sydney or doesn't matter. We don't have to dox him or anything.
Further north.
Damn, further north than Sydney. Holy shit.
So
That's crazy.
Let's get into.
That's legit Canada.
Let's get into. Yeah, that's a slow one. Thoughts on this one?
Okay. I'll do at least show the crowd. Placing my finger steadily in the front so I don't have any risk of dropping.
It's the first date.
Bottle.
Come on.
You don't want to drop the bottle. We had established, or at least determined
drying.
what the punt's purpose was, right?
Yeah, so it's not a flat bottom, so it's just easier. Flat bottom increases the risk of having like more sediment and stuff build up. Where on the bottom and then it rolls it. It's just more confined and easily oscillated back into. I don't know if I get the ginger. That could be the drying. Ginger's very drying. I definitely get the pine needles. There's one descriptor on this that really. Oh yeah, treat yourself.
It's not my birthday. So Mikkeller, the can art here is a bunch of the typical Mikkeller like logo mascot guy feeding what's probably mistletoe to reindeer.
They will eat mistletoe.
Do they eat mistletoe? What is mistletoe? Is that a sort of pine?
Yeah, it's
bush or something.
Mistletoe is not. It's a nettle, but it's a bigger one. Like it's not deciduous. It's definitely a coniferous. I'm going to say that with confidence. I really don't know, but
and that's the can art. It says Hoppy, Lovin, Christmas, ginger and pine needles. Okay, so that's the can art boner segment. Very good. This beer, my thoughts. Dull and muted on the hoppiness, less bitter. This is what I would imagine that the European version back in like the 1600s tasted like. Not
not
sharp
gimmicked up.
hops. Yeah, not sharp hops where it's all bitterness. It's really like kind of dull for the purposes of getting this across the sea. Probably well shaken too. Also aged. It would have been a few months old by that point, sitting in wooden barrels.
How long did they take typically? Because they had to go around the Cape.
Well, so they were using mostly sails and some slave labor. So it with an engine on a Navy ship. It took us 2 weeks to get to Hawaii. So
full steam, like 14 knots.
Well, we're not. No, we could go up to 22 knots. We were a little bit stronger than that, and I think maybe a carrier might be 14 knots. They might be.
No,
up
carriers.
To the 20s.
Yeah, carriers bigger.
20s or 30s. Yeah. So our top speed was 22. But we were one step down from a carrier. We were an amphibious. We had the vertical takeoff aircraft.
V-STOL.
We had helos, but I'm not speaking of helos for those who don't know what I'm talking about. Think F-22 or AVAP Harrier. Anyway, it took us 2 weeks. So how long would it take you to get to India from Great Britain?
Again, because they had to go around the Cape.
They had to go around.
Because the Suez wasn't built.
4 months maybe, 4 or 5 months.
That's where I would be.
I'd probably be around there. And again, that's with like sails and slave labor rowing.
Because if they hit the horse latitudes really poorly, because they have to go through them twice, then they're fucked. Like, then they're, trying to drop weight or whatever.
And that's really where Wog Day came from, was the old wooden days. You used to have no choice but to pass the equator. And a sailor who passes the equator has achieved something. So there would be Wog Day. And
one extra ration of grog.
Sometimes you get flogged.
What?
You ever heard of that? Yeah, it's terrible. It's basically they tie a rope around your wrists or your ankles, and then they throw you overboard and pull you up the other side of the ship.
Oh, yeah.
And that basically could kill you because of the barnacles and stuff could scrape your skin and you could bleed to death. But people survive it, obviously, and then you become a shellback.
Oh, that's why they call it a shellback.
So now
imagine doing that.
They don't do that.
Imagine doing that under a carrier.
Even the ship I was on, which was very large,
very small
and deep.
16 people.
I was not on a
JT
small ship. I feel like that's what's lost here is that we were just slightly less than a carrier. But carriers are insane. Carriers are cities. 5,000, 6,000 people. That's crazy. Yeah, they don't do that anymore. So what we just do, Davy Jones's bullshit, basically.
I have to check these in because otherwise I'm checking in at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I get questions from people that are like, "Why are you drinking beer at 2 o'clock?"
You know, sometimes Untapped will question you, like, "Hey, are you sure you're drinking your 7th beer today?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I am." Don't.
Oh yeah, like
me,
beer
dude.
festivals, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, to make sure you have a ride home. Yeah, that's a good one, I guess.
Yeah. Fuck them.
There's a leatheriness about these
Leatheriness.
older IPAs, these kind of ones that have less sharpness. I think it's not in a bad way. The leatheriness isn't like toughness or anything. It's more of just like this kind of like the way that real leather makes a room smell a little bit. Just makes it smell different, a little better. Makes it smell manlier. There's a little bit of that in this beer. It just has like this nice, smooth, kind of leathery smell and breath on it. Where the hops are muted, understated even. I could see the pine. Definitely no ginger. I don't even really taste the Christmas in this, so I would be okay with this being a Christmas beer because every Christmas flavored beer sucks. And we established that. I established that long ago.
Yeah, it's like every red for me.
Just a really, really good beer. 7.8, actually, this drinks a lot harder than that. I think this actually drinks like a 9 or a 10. 4.5, I like this beer.
Wow. So you don't think that it's past its prime?
No.
Interesting. Well, now I don't feel as guilty because I feel
coming
bad
from
sometimes.
Europe, it doesn't have that disgusting water taste.
Skunkiness. I it's with a heavy heart sometimes, or like I'm a little bit verklempt when I go to donate these beers to the cause because I'm like, man, this is old and it's not ideal. It's not
probably
perfect
in
for
top
this.
form.
Off the top rope. The number one feature I get from this beer is cat piss. It's just unpleasant, but I try to power through because it's subtle cat piss. So I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy
That's
it.
really insane. Wow.
It's
because like I don't taste that at all. And I would say it.
Off the top rope, I'm gonna give it a 3. I just think it's
3 for cat piss.
3 for cat
You really
piss.
like cat piss.
Yeah, I'm just trying to power through it.
Essentially, that's a 5 for cat piss.
As it's cat piss everywhere. Cat piss is so like pungent and just like permeates everything. It just persists.
I think this has a lot of parallels to like the aged IPA.
It doesn't smell like it on that. It's just and it's super pale too, which is really neat.
I think actually the smell has more cat piss than the taste. Yeah, I didn't really dig in on the smell, but it does have
ammonia.
It has an ammonia kind of smell to it. Yeah, for
it's
sure.
100% ammonia.
Wow, yeah.
It's not often that.
I don't think the taste is bad though. I think this beer's good. I think it's good. I think it's
maybe that's the Christmas. Maybe Christmas in Europe is cat piss.
It probably is. There's a lot of cats in Europe, from what I understand. Yeah. A lot of European countries aren't big dog people. Is that true?
I think it's got to be a space thing.
A space thing. Yeah.
I mean, but you have like French and British bulldogs. You don't have.
That's true.
Like
you have Cheshire cats and
Cheshire cats.
What are the skinless or the hairless ones? Is that the same?
Yeah, hairless cat. That's different. Cheshire is different. Where I think the dog of the United States would probably be the golden retriever, maybe the Labrador.
Yeah, probably one.
But Labrador is Canada.
Is it Canada?
Yeah, Labrador is Providence, Canada.
Yeah, golden retriever. I could see that being
golden retriever. Just too much fucking hair.
Yeah, but they don't shed, do they?
Because it's hair. It's not fur. It's hair.
It's hair. Yeah, we got a mixed breed and it doesn't shed at all. It's amazing. Smartest dog I've ever had. It's almost too smart.
It's like the raptors in Jurassic Park. It's opening the door when you're just trying
our
to take
dog
a shit.
is like a raptor from Jurassic Park. It is insane. It's
Tilts the head to
part
the side.
Irish setter for those who want to know, and part golden retriever. And we can't keep her. We can't do anything that she doesn't learn. Like you know how like when your dogs hear walk, they get excited, so you start spelling it. And then after they figure that out, then you start just saying W. I'm going to take the dogs for a W. That's what we do in our house anyway. But
Oh, yeah,
this dog's way too smart.
We have
for
to
that.
spell it out. Yeah, like Raja will start pacing if we say let's go for a walk.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens in our house. So we got to spell it. Now we just can use W, and she's getting that too.
Oh yeah, because she knows what's happening. Yeah, so then we
She's
just
so
spell
smart.
it.
Yeah.
So a couple of things, hot takes. I just want to get your initial reaction. We'll just call this rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Congrats on winning the division because the Brewers just traded away their 15 to 17 game winner
To a surprising, and I don't think the haul they got back was acceptable. Although
it's a 1 year, it's a loaner. He's not going to re-sign.
So they got some prospects for. Oh, that's good. So there's a Twitter account that calculates the value of all the players that are in trades, and that one was accepted as a valid trade.
Because DL and Ortiz will both see playtime this year. DL is much more of a longer reliever, and Ortiz will see because their outfield is stacked. They're way too deep in the outfield. They're going to have to not stacked with amazing talent, but stacked with numbers of people. So they're going to have to, there will be some guys not DFA'd by any means, but either sent to Nashville. The other big one, so that's close, is this is the one that's shaking the world, especially after last Friday. Is Cody Rhodes got cucked by The Rock.
He got cucked.
So The Rock is going to face Roman Reigns for whatever, the head of the table.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
So it just came out in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that when The Rock came back to TKO to sit on the board to get paid $30 million, that he negotiated this match with Roman at WrestleMania.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense then.
But then you went forward with having Cody win the Rumble, which doesn't make sense. Why?
But they were so close to each other. The board thing, and Cody Rhodes.
And the only people that knew about it going in were Dwayne, the Ari Emanuel, and Nick Khan, who's the only WWE guy out of the three. And then the other big one that he negotiated was he owns the Rock trademark now. So $30 million, big. A lot of people, are seeing it, but it's making The Rock kind of rambling here or rolling if you're a Rock.
It's okay.
It's making The Rock into a heel, and he's going to get booed. Like they had an NXT pay-per-view, they put up The Rock Roman and it got booed. Like they had to take it down.
Well, really, what they're setting themselves up for is a Lesnar Goldberg match, because I don't think people. I know there's a lot of people who throw
WrestleMania 20
the acknowledge me thing for Roman Reigns, of which I'm not one. And I don't think it's genuine.
It's all about this.
But I think what they're setting up for is a match that no one really wants. Not a match that people will hate with their dollars. They'll hate it and hate it.
Everyone wanted this match years ago.
Yes, it's too late for that.
It's too late. And now if Roman beats Rock at WrestleMania, there's no way he's not going after Hogan's record. So
I feel like Triple H is smarter than that. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm an eternal optimist. There's another pay-per-view between now and then. There's gonna be a swerve or something, or a schmaz or something coming on.
Gotta be.
Like, I like the idea, and these are all stolen. These are not mine. That night one you have Seth and Cody and Roman and Rock, and then night two you have the winners of that match and unifying.
Well, that would be phenomenal,
right?
That would be,
and that would be the story.
Honestly, that would be it.
Because I wonder what their plan is, and if their plan is going to be adjusted, knowing that everyone's going to get shit on, and they're going to supercharge. Like Daniel Bryan was the plucky upstart face that they prevented from being in the Royal Rumble a few years ago, and then the crowd willed him into that main event match at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
so
that could be the case, but I don't think they want to give up their women's main event.
They'll do co. They'll do co.
If you did a tournament style, that could win over fans. I think. I think that I don't have a good don't have the pulse of the universe, but I think the Roman Reigns thing has run its course, and maybe it was because of all of the Vince McMahon / Triple H ins and outs that have happened over the course of the last couple of years, but I don't think people are interested anymore. They've done the same ending over and over and over again. Solo Sikoa comes out and wins it.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, we get it, and you want him to be your guy, but we're really what you have with Roman Reigns now, in my opinion, is an Austin Theory situation, where he was pushed with an agenda, with the plan being that the guy who's pushing that agenda was going to be in charge for long term, and now you have Triple H. And I'm not sure he knows what to do. I think that it'd be interesting to let Rock win the belts and take them away and start over. Because really, what can you do now? You've almost created a situation where the belts are too prestigious for anyone else than Roman Reigns or The Rock or John Cena or somebody of that stature. You can't just waltz in there as Cody Rhodes and win those two belts that have been the lore around those belts. So have The Rock win them and take them out of there. Start over. Get another new belt. Just like he did with Seth Rollins. That'd be interesting. Or the tournament style. I did not think of that. That's a really interesting idea. But even then, winning.
I like the idea of somebody at Elimination Chamber taking it off, because again, Roman doesn't have to eat the pin to lose the belt if they stick him in the match. But then I could see The Rock coming out and being like, I want you for the belt, and The Rock coming in and interfering. But because that pay-per-view is going to be in Perth, Australia, that requires a lot for The Rock.
And that's all going to be women's. It's going to be, what's her name?
Rhea Ripley.
That's
yeah, the unfortunate thing is they got rid of the other Aussie female that they had too. Like, they announced that it was going to be Perth. She's from Perth. Is it Tanil? I forget which one. She's from Perth. And then 6 hours later, she was released. When they announced the pay-per-view.
You could also have somebody win the belts, like Drew McIntyre,
who's on an amazing run. Best heel in the company.
Oh, yeah, great heel. And what that would do then is, I just think the belts they have too much prestige now, because he's held them for so long, that having Cody Rhodes win them means that, like, his follow-up has to be extraordinary. Whereas you gotta knock them down a few pegs, those belts. And the only way to do that is just to ignore them.
It would be great if they put the belt on Drew. One, because I think Drew needs his acknowledgement from carrying the company during COVID.
Yeah.
The problem is his contract is up soon after WrestleMania. So if they don't put it on him, obviously they're not going to put it on somebody that's going to lead the company. You could see some of the real angst. Either he's the best, it's all a shoot, and he's working us all.
That could be it.
But he, there's a lot of troughs. You just have Nick Nemeth, the formerly known as Dolph Ziggler in TNA, rocking shit up over there. AEW
coming to Dayton with
Mox.
Is he coming with Mox?
Yeah, Mox.
I meant Dolph Ziggler.
Oh,
he's coming to Dayton with Elias.
Yeah, Elias, now known as Elijah.
Yeah, they're coming to Dayton in a month or so. I don't know.
Is it GCW that they're coming?
No, WSW. World Series Wrestling. I think that's just some sort of.
Yeah, they used to run. This used to be an A town with now it's a B town with the Nutter Center, but Hera Arena. I mean, they've run King of the Ring here before at the Nutter Center. They ran 2 King of the Rings here at the Nutter Center when Nutter Center was a brand new, had that new building smell. But now it's a B tier city, so that's why they run SmackDown here. Man, I remain optimistic that, again, they'll fix the book and they'll figure this all out.
I think they will. This isn't it. It's way too early in the road to WrestleMania for this to be the actual outcome. And if it is, then that tells you everything you need to know about the current regime. The
last time Rock put over Roman in Philly was when Roman won. He was bleeding from the mouth. Rock came out and lifted his hand, and the Philly crowd booed them out of the fucking Philly is right up there with Chicago and New York. smart fans, and you're not, and they will boo, and they will not be quenched because the 20,000 smarks in the crowd will be enough to overpower the Lincoln Financial Field. Like everyone will join, and there will be enough inertia from that, and they will shit all over it.
And don't underestimate the power of word of mouth. Like when you're in these big pay-per-views, like I went to Royal Rumble with my kids, and I've been to a WrestleMania. Over the course of 3 hours, you hear enough shit that can turn you.
Yep.
You can start to cheer against the people you originally thought you'd cheer for.
Well, you were there for the double turn.
At
WrestleMania 13?
Yeah, WrestleMania 13.
That's infamous, where a heel and face went into it as a heel and face and then switched during the match.
Yeah.
The next one would have been Rock Hogan, where they had to call that live. So heel face, and they switched that. So that was 6 years after. I think that was WrestleMania 19.
The Austin trajectory is fun to watch. I'll say this: if you have the resources to watch the Raws, man, they gave the fans what they wanted. That's for sure. Because Austin was nowhere near the top at the beginning of '97, and he was the top by the end.
Again, his short. You know, if Cena had lasting power or whatever, Austin's prime was so short, and, you know, with his broken neck and, you know, his knees and everything like that. And that man put everything, you know, when Owen Hart broke his neck, rest in peace. But, man, and they milked him, like, they ran him ragged.
Yeah.
And, you know, he started wrestling at the Sportatorium and everything like that. But his high, I think he said like 30 months where he was like on top of the business.
Yeah. Just phenomenal. But they leaned into it, which was amazing. And right now, like you've had it since COVID. Really, they're not really leaning into what the fans want, and in some ways that's worked out. Like the head of the table gave us Jey Uso, which is great because as a solo wrestler he's going to do really well.
Yeah.
But not the head of the table, the Bloodline.
Yeah.
Gave us that. And Sami Zayn. It did a lot. So credit to them. But there was a lot of times when Roman Reigns should not still have the belt. But I guess, you know, creates the lore.
The mystique.
It does. Who better to carry the company than a guy that no one cares about? You like Roman Reigns?
I like his entrance. I like his package. It's just right up there with. It's just right up there with like MJF too. Like again, like the entrance, like the package. And I appreciate it more in the last 6 months. But other than that, they're not very creative with the finishes.
It might have taken, the finishes, those are bad. It might take me a while to get behind the entrance because I didn't like the Undertaker's long entrance until I went back and rewatched everything. It annoyed me.
Wow,
how long it took.
Yeah, there was always bets on that. We would always have bets like over under 3 minutes, and then we'd have to look at the entrance ramp and stuff like that because you could gauge it like 3 minutes for like a Raw entrance.
Yeah. Well,
just was it?
Yeah. Triple H's entrances were always the ones that cracked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrote himself into that, but
exactly. It was always like you're entering like this would be like if let me try to think of a good baseball analogy here. I won't be able to in the time we have, but it'd be like if let's say
Dikembe Mutombo.
No, let's say like if what's a good guy that both of us would know? I don't want to say some obscure Cubs guy, but
challenge me.
Let's
Andre Dawson.
No. It'd be like if Sean Dunston just busted into the Hall of Fame and was like, I'm fucking here, guys.
God.
You know what I'm saying? That's the Triple H entrance that we see.
The Baseball Hall of Fame is so fucking broken.
Oh, it's so broken.
Process.
We could have a whole episode about the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I just saw one, and so this is going to be 90s baseball. If you compare Albert Bell's first 12 years to Mike Trout's first 12 years, Albert Bell is better than him. Not offensive stats. Defensive stats, obviously, comes into play or whatever. His offensive stats are better than Mike Trout's in every category.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that.
And people are going to say steroids, live, whatever. And Albert Bell but the reason Albert Bell will never get in, he was an asshole. He got robbed. Mo Vaughn, the only reason Mo Vaughn got the MVP that fucking year is Mo Vaughn, that Big Tub of Lard stole 11 bases. That's the only reason he got it.
This is what you
Albert
just
Bell
said. The fact that what
was
you
a
just said.
50-50 player, one of the first 50-50 players, and didn't get it that year because Big Tub of Lard stole 11 bases.
50-50, really?
He's a 50-50.
Holy fuck. So what you just said, because he's not in the Hall of Fame because he was an asshole, tells you
Everything you need to know.
invalidates everything about the Hall of Fame, period. It's not the Hall of Good Guys. We've talked about this before. It is the Hall of Fame, and that's why all the steroid guys need to be in there. It's why they keep people like Ty Cobb in there, even though there's rumors that Ty Cobb really wasn't that bad. It was some journalist fabricating bullshit like, hey, what else is new? It's been going on for 100 years. But yeah, the Hall of Fame is just, it's so invalid.
I really enjoyed the mid-90s Indians with Kenny Lofton, Carlos Baerga, Albert Bell. Like, I followed them.
Yep.
I appreciated what they brought to the game. They were the antithesis for the Braves. The Braves were all the
Roberto Alomar?
Yeah, Roberto Alomar. They had so much, gumption behind them and that whatever. But anyways,
They did.
And that was like when I was coming.
That was to Bobby Cox.
And that was like the prime Matt coming into sports and stuff like that.
Sports
Center when it was good.
Mid-90s. Oh gosh, sports was just better back then.
Right.
They just were.
It just sucks. Now everything's betting lines, but I'm making more in daily sports now, so good for that. But
yeah,
I'm gonna be a little bit more aggressive this year. I think
we should switch our fantasy football format to daily fantasy. Weekly draft.
The problem is we wouldn't. I play weekly draft. Other people would complain.
I love it. I've been in it before, and it's awesome.
I've pitched it. In my league this year, 17 weeks. I won twice, took second twice, and then finished either 9th or 10th every other week.
Yeah, I mean, it levels the playing field. You can all draft the same players.
Yep.
And you might just be the guy who.
And we did $25 a week.
So that's a lot. Yeah.
So I came out ahead. Well, this is all. I was the youngest guy by 20 years in the league.
Okay. Wow.
So
they all had just money to
one guy won his fantasy league. It was $3,600 he took home.
Shit.
So, right. So
that'd be nice.
And they invited me to that league. And I go, nah, I'm fine with $25 a week. But again, it paid for itself because I think the winner walks away like $300. So
yeah, it's great format. I like the daily fantasy weekly format. It's really nice. But
anyways, we could do a whole. I know we really want to do a live. I've figured it out how to do it. I've gone live a couple of times. Maybe people have seen it. Just farting around early Saturday or Sunday mornings or whatever. So it's pretty easy to do. But we're looking at doing a Friday one sometime in the near future.
Yeah, before baseball season.
Because then it's easy. It's easy too to you can throw super chats and. Oh yeah,
super chats would be great.
Applauses in there.
Yeah, we can get our producer in here.
We could we'd say 100 or 98% of the proceeds go to Stev. So.
Ooh, that'd be good. All the proceeds because there's so much proceeds.
All the proceeds.
Yeah, I mean we get a lot of proceeds for each.
Like that
episode.
Southern Grist beer. Good pickup, by the way, Steph. Better than your. You totally went and redeemed yourself.
Oh yeah, this is really good.
That cuvee.
Really great pickup.
Gross. Anyways, we got one more for Stev. We got the Duke's Mayo coming up. JT's got a few treats in store.
Yeah, in store. That's it. That's episode 265.
Are you having a good day?
Awesome conversation. We got it all out. We finally talked wrestling. Finally talked baseball. We'll talk more baseball, I'm sure. That's it. Bye.